G'day and welcome. My name's Cautious Pancake, and today let's talk about loot bags. Everything from what they are, how to get them, and also run a little test to see whether you know the answers to a few different questions that I keep seeing getting asked and sometimes answered incorrectly. To start with, what are loot bags? Well, every zombie in 7 days is its own effectively little undead Santa, with a sack of goodies that it might give to you after you do them in. There are 3 different types of loot bags. The yellow, which is the standard bag dropped by most zombies, which includes most normal, feral and radiated zombies. You're likely going to see this more than any other bag. The blue bag is for tougher zombies and is dropped by the biker, lumberjack, big mama, fat Hawaiian, bowler and fat cop. For those zombies, this bag will drop for normal, feral and radiated versions, but additionally, the skateboarder, soldier, white, screamer and mutated zombies will drop a blue bag for radiated only. Finally, the best loot bags in the game are the red ones, which will drop only from demos, dire wolves, zombie bears, and one other special little pig that I won't show just in case you knew. That one's always a fun little surprise the first time you find it. In terms of how often the bags drop, it's not that common. The base drop rate is 2%, so roughly 1 loot bag for every 50 zombies you kill, which applies to all of the yellow and blue bag drops for normal zombies, but it increases slightly to 3% for feral and rad drops. So a regular cop has a 2% chance to drop a blue bag, which increases to a 3% chance for feral and rad cops. While the janitor will only ever drop a yellow bag, these will also be at 2% for regular and 3% for feral and radiated. Demos are a special case and will drop a red bag 30% of the time, while dire wolves and zombie bears are guaranteed drop rates at 100%. Now what's in them, you might ask? Well, it's a mix of gear based on a number of different probabilities. The common factor between them all is that all loot bags have 5 different categories of items that they can drop, with some small changes in between, as well as differing amounts of each category. For example, the yellow bag will always contain between 3 and 5 items, where the 3 guaranteed items come 1 each from category 1, 2 and 3, followed by about a 50% chance of getting a category 4 item and a 20% chance of getting a category 5 item. Now, what are the categories, you might ask? Well, category 1 is always ammo, which will include one of 9mm, 7.62, shotgun shells, or 44 ammo, with the size of the stack increasing as your loot stage increases. Category 2 is the miscellaneous or junk group. When a category 2 item is selected, you will get one of the following: some brass, cobblestone, glue, a medical item, a drink, a can of food, duct tape, mechanical parts, and acid. If the medical item is selected for this category, you will get one of the following in order of decreasing probability: vitamins, painkillers, steroids, blood bag, first aid bandage, plaster cast, and antibiotics. If the drink item is selected, you'll get one of the following with equal probability: yucca juice, goldenrod tea, red tea, coffee, and beer. And if the food option is selected, you'll get one of any of the can of foods selected at random. Category 3 is your book category. In this, you'll either get a book or 2 skill magazines. If you get the book option, you will get one of any one of the perk books in the game, a schematic for a mod or general item, with the tier of the schematics increasing as your loot stage increases, a vehicle schematic, or a single skill magazine. So whilst those are the first 3 guaranteed categories for a yellow loot bag, category 4 and 5 are optional. For category 4, in this category, there are 5 different subcategories to pick from, which all have different items within them as well. The 5 subcategories of category 4 are tools, armor parts, crafting mats, and a second lot of rarer armor parts. The most likely categories are the tools and the armor. Within the tools subcategory, you will have the chance to get any of the tools within the game, starting from the stone axe and shovel, all the way through iron, steel, and motor tools. These are obviously going to scale with your loot stage throughout the game. For the armor section, this is an interesting one. Above loot stage 15, you can get any of the pieces of armor in the game scaled to your level, or you can get an armor crafting part, which includes cloth, leather, sewing kits, armor parts, and legendary parts. The actual armor parts subcategory of category 4 is also a repeat of that, with a chance to get cloth, leather, sewing kits, armor parts, and legendary parts. Remembering, of course, that you can only get one of each of the subcategories selected. The crafting mats is a selection of 5 to 10 forged iron or forged steel, and the final rarer armor parts is a chance to get either the sewing kits, armor parts, an actual armor crafting kit, and again, legendary parts, but this time up to 2 of them. So that's category 4, one of the most complicated categories that you can get. And finally, there's category 5, which is your special rewards category. Within this, you have a chance to get one of the following: a rare tool, which is basically still just the tools category, but with a higher chance of getting the better tier tools; a weapon, which includes all melee and ranged weapons from the starter weapons all the way through to sniper rifles, rocket launchers and auto shotguns. A mod, which will pick from all mods, with the lower tier mods more likely to be provided than the rarer ones, with the rarest ones being things like the cigar, treasure hunter mod and other stat bonus mods. You could also get dukes, cash, a rare medical item which includes a first aid kit, fort bites, recog and antibiotics, a treasure map, a night vision mod and a helmet light mod. So that was a lot to take in and I hope it all made sense. To help, let's go through a couple of examples of the yellow loot bags. I'm currently loot stage 36. Within this one we've got 4 items this time, so we've got our category 1 ammo. From the category 2 junk group we got the Yucca Juice. From the category 3 books group we got rifle magazines, and category 4 we actually got this time with 8 forged steel coming through, so that's not too bad. In the other bag we've actually hit all 5 items, so we've got category 1 the shotgun shells, category 2 junk we got the medical item, category 3 books we got the handgun magazines, category 4 tools we got the stone axe, and the category 5 special category we got a tier 1 stone shovel, which isn't particularly special, but that's the way it rolls sometimes. Moving on to the blue loot bags, thankfully a lot of what we talked about before reapplies here. At a high level, you will get 1 category 1 ammo piece, 2 lots of the category 2 miscellaneous or junk items, with the only difference here being that the blue item removes the chance to get cobblestone, 2 lots of the category 3 book items, which is the same content as the yellow bag, 1 of the category 4 tool items, which is optional in the yellow loot bag but is guaranteed in the blue, and finally a 20% chance of getting a category 5 item, which is the same as the optional category 5 item in the yellow, except that it also adds in the chance to get vehicle parts for all vehicles, including the gyro, and some more vehicle mods. The vehicle items are limited by loot stage, so you can't get a gyro item when you first start, and it also increases the coin and cash to between 400 and 600 each, rather than the 200 to 400 of the yellow bag. So taking a look at some of the blue loot bags that we've dropped, here we've got our 1 category 1, our 2 category 2s of the junk, we've got the food and the duct tape, 2 lots of category 3 books, where we've got an automatic weapons handbook and an armored up, and from the tools category 4 we got a stone shovel. We didn't get a category 5 in this one. For the other blue bag, similar again, 1 category 1 ammo, 2 category 2 junk, 2 category 3 books, and a category 4. Neither one of those did we get the category 5. And lastly, for the red bags, here you'll get 2 lots of category 1 ammo, 2 lots of category 2 junk, but with the added chance of getting 2 to 3 super corn within those, 2 lots of the category 3 books, 1 lot of the category 4 armor, but removes one of the chances to get the kind of boring armor parts piece that includes the cloth, leather and sewing kits. There's still one of those chances in there, but at least some of it is gone. And finally, the special category is bumped up from 20% to 50% chance of getting a category 5, but it also adds in a new book category which is aimed at the higher tier schematics and also includes books and standard books and skill mags. It changes the weapons to remove all of the stone weapons so you can't get those, and increases the coins and cash to between 600 and 800 each. Okay, and lastly, checking out some of the red loot bags. For this one, we got 2 of our category 1 ammo, 2 of our category 2 junk, 2 of our category 3 books, and a category 4 tool, which isn't very nice. The red bag's category 5 removes the chance of getting a stone tool, but not the category 4. Okay, what do we get here? We've got 2 category 1 ammos, 2 category 2 junk, 2 category 3 books, a category 4 stone tool, and a category 5 special. We got an extra magazine. So now let's see how well you know how loot bags and 7 Days to Die work. Make sure you track your answers as you go, and let me know in the comments if you get all 5 of them right. For question 1, something that I see asked often is, can loot bags be destroyed? Back in the day, loot bags and drop backpacks had a health bar and could accidentally be destroyed through errant shots or attacks from the zombies, but in the current 1.0 release, the answer is no, they can't be destroyed. You can shoot them as much as you like, and nothing happens. You can try and blow them up with explosives. You can get crops spit on them. You can get cops explode on them. You can get demos explode on them, and still the loot bag is untouched. Question 2 is also something that I see asked all the time, which is, will the loot bag last a full horde night? And the answer to this one is a bit of a trick, as it depends on your game settings. Loot bags are, by default, set up to last 1,200 seconds, or 20 minutes of real time. How that translates to lasting through Horde Night depends on your game settings. If you've got a standard game with 60-minute days and 18 hours of daylight, then yes, your approximate 15-minute Horde Night should be over before any of your loot bags despawn. However, a warning on that is that there can be a little bit of variance in the length of time Horde Night takes. At least there is when I look back at my recordings, and it also doesn't take into account how much time you need after the end of Horde Night to clean up the remaining zombies that are hanging around. So I suspect this is one of those questions that might cause a little bit of debate in the comments. For those with differing game settings though, with either less daylight hours or longer days, then your bags are unlikely to last a full Horde Night, and you'll either need to build a base that acts as a loot bag collector, or use a mod if you're on PC and increase the length of time that the loot bags will exist for. I'll put a link in the description for a longer loot bag mod for those who want it. Another question that I've seen asked from time to time is whether or not loot bags despawn faster if you partially loot them. Specifically, does opening up a loot bag start a faster timer that despawns the bag quicker? I don't know if this was ever the case previously, but it's certainly not in 1.0. Opening a loot bag and leaving some or all of the contents in there makes no difference to the time it will take to despawn. From my testing, it's still 20 minutes from when the bag was spawned and has nothing to do from when you touch it. The next one is whether or not loot bags disappear if you leave the area. Or to ask it another way, what do you think would happen to loot bags if we do leave the area? Do they despawn immediately, the same 20-minute mark, or something else? To test this one, let's get a blue loot bag spawned in, then I'll jump on the bike and head down the road. Looking back, I can still see it through the scope, so let's go a little bit further until it's not visible at all. And now that it's out of sight, we're going to sit here for about 5-6 minutes and then go back and see what happens when we return. Sitting here and watching the loot bag, we've passed the 20-minute mark now and the bag is still here. Oh, there it goes. So that was about 26 minutes total since it spawned, which means that the bag despawn timer doesn't tick down while you're away from the bag. While this won't help you with getting to bags quickly after Horde Night, it does mean that you can leave bags and come back later if you need to. It also explains how those random bags you find sometimes out in the world are still there. It's because their despawn timer didn't start until you got close enough for them to reappear. For the last question, there are 3 different ways that I can think of that you can get a higher percentage of loot bag drops than usual. Question for you is, what are they? Now, assuming that I've not messed this up and there's actually more than 3 ways, let's look at the first 2, which are Wandering Hordes and Blood Moon Hordes. Both of these utilize a scaling factor, which I think came in Alpha 21. The Wandering Horde is the simpler one, so let's start with that. And according to the XML, it works by increasing the zombie loot bag drop chance every time you kill a number of zombies. If I'm reading it right, then after killing 3 zombies in a Wandering Horde, the natural drop rate of a zombie, usually 2 or 3%, will be multiplied by 15. It's not clear if that applies to all Wandering Horde zombies equally, it's not clear if that carries over between Wandering Hordes, and it's not clear if it resets that bonus chance after getting a loot bag drop. Finally, it's also not clear if after killing 6 zombies in a Wandering Horde, does the 30 or 45% chance then get multiplied by 15 or have 15% more chance added to it, becoming either 45 to 60% or becoming guaranteed. According to the XML, it's multiplied, so in theory, every 6 kills should be a guaranteed loot bag in the Wandering Horde. Blood Moons have a similar logic, but with some differences. For Horde Nights, every 12 zombies you kill, the loot bag chance will get multiplied by 25%, which can be stacked multiple times up to a maximum number of your game stage divided by 30. So if you're less than game stage 30, at best you'll get a 50% chance, 75% for feral, to get a loot bag drop after killing 12 zombies. But killing 12 more won't increase it beyond that chance due to your low game stage. At game stage 60, you'll be able to get the bonus a second time, which I think would then make it a guaranteed drop. So on Horde Nights, if this is true, you should be getting a loot bag every 12 to 24 zombies. As you can see in the background, I've been doing some very rough testing and this kind of looks like it might be correct. So back to the question, the third way that you can get a higher loot bag chance is from completing the Lucky Looter book set. According to the books, the full set should give you a 20% bonus to your loot bag chance, permanently. Assuming that that's a percentage addition, 20% plus the 2% existing chance should give you a 22% chance, which would mean slightly more than 1 in 5 zombies, on average, should be dropping a loot bag. However, testing that with a lot of spawned-in zombies, that just isn't the case. As you can see in the background, I've been spawning in multiple groups of 50 zombies, killing them with the rocket launcher, and if the 22% figure was correct, after doing this 20 times and killing 1,000 zombies, there should be 220 loot bags. Which there obviously isn't. If, however, the perk was 20% of the existing chance, then a 2% drop rate would increase to a 2.4% drop rate, which is going to be pretty hard to measure through testing, as RNG means that the drop rates can easily be above and below that in any particular test case. So for Lucky Looter, I'm not actually sure what the case is supposed to be. If it's supposed to be 20% added on top of your 2% chance, then I think that's broken. And if it's supposed to be 20% of the existing drop rate, then I think that's a little underpowered. A 2.4% chance from a 2% chance is not something that most players are going to notice, and it doesn't really feel like it's enough. And given that the yellow and blue loot bags have the same drop rate, you're not really going to notice it on the blues either. The only place that you might notice a 20% increase of the existing drop rate is for demos, but even still that's only going to go from 30% to 36%, which given the rarity of demos is really also not going to be easy to spot. So I'm not sure on this one. If anyone out there knows what this is supposed to be, please reach out and let me know, or tell me that I'm doing something fundamentally wrong with the test cases and I'll have to have another look. So I hope you did well on the test, and before I move into giving you my last bonus tip for loot bags, let me just say that if you found this video useful, please give it a like, and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more videos like this one. I'd also like to say a big thanks to my supporters on Patreon for their ongoing support. It means a lot. Okay, bonus tip time, which many of you may know already, but it's easy to forget sometimes. Given that when we went through the loot bags, and a lot of the loot items in there scale with your loot level, make sure that you consider when placing your horde base, the quality of the loot bag loot that you want to get. While I don't want to turn this into a video on loot stage, the loot stage bonuses go up for each of the biomes that you go through in order of difficulty, and additionally, you get loot stage bonuses when looting on the grounds of a POI. So to get the best quality loot from your loot bags, consider building on the grounds of a tier 5 POI in the hardest biome that you are able to handle. It'll also increase the difficulty of the zombies, so take that into account as well. Hopefully the higher quality loot that you get will be worth it. So that's it. Hope you learned something from the video, and happy looting.